Holding a shovel in one hand, Saint Fiacre is presented as the patron saint of gardeners and cab drivers. According to the legend of this 7th century saint, Fiacre earned the right to establish a hermitage and a hospice for the poor after single-handedly clearing an entire forest in one day. Let us learn his story today. Born in Ireland in the 7th century, Fiacre was the son of an Irish king. He was entrusted to Saint Conan for his education. During the Dark Ages, monasteries were repositories of learning, and it is here that Fiacre became a skillful user of healing herbs. After completing his ordination as a clergyman, Fiacre felt a calling to embrace a life of solitude and contemplation. He chose to become a hermit and settled in the serene lands of County Kilkenny. With a great understanding of herbs and natural remedies, Fiacre exhibited a remarkable ability to heal using these gifts. This extraordinary skill drew crowds of people seeking his help in healing the sick. The increasing number of visitors posed a challenge to Fiacre's plan. He didn't like the crowd. In search of greater seclusion, he made a decision to journey to Meaux, a town in France. There, he sought the permission of the respected bishop Saint Pharaoh to establish his hermitage within a nearby forest. He established a hermitage in a wooded area near the Marne River. Initially alone in his secluded haven, Fiacre soon found himself once more surrounded by those seeking solace and healing from his spiritual presence. Interpreting this influx as a sign of God's will, he devoted himself to his calling with renewed vigor. In time, Fiacre managed to construct a small chapel, a hospice for travelers, and a modest dwelling for himself. Very soon, this hospice evolved into a thriving town of Saint Fiacre. Yet, as more people sought his guidance, Fiacre encountered a challenge: the limited space to accommodate the masses. Seeking a solution, he turned to Bishop Pharaoh once again. Pharaoh devised a test. Fiacre could claim as much land as he could encircle between using only the tip of his staff as a marker in a day before the sun sets. Fueled by determination, Fiacre embarked on an effort that would be fondly recorded in the history books. He madly plowed with his walking stick, uprooting trees, tossing weeds, ripping out thorny briars with his bare hands, all in an attempt to encompass as much land as possible. A woman named Becnaud saw this and thought him possessed, since he was toppling some pretty big trees. Frightened, she ran to tell Pharaoh, and he realized she was probably describing Fiacre. Becnaud then ran back to Fiacre and, screaming like a harpy, told him he was in trouble. Her words went unheard, though, because he was daydreaming of all the wonderful things God would do through this monastery. Christian Family TV is made possible by your generosity. Because of your donation today, we were able to create more than 200 plus wonderful stories on saints, stories of faith, and many other interesting videos to teach our kids. Yes, you are making a difference. We could not do what we do without you. We want to remind you again to take a Patreon subscription It only costs $2 to start with, or make a one-time donation starting at $5. This will help us continue making these videos. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He smile on you and be gracious to you. Thank you, and God bless you. Lost in thought, he had sat his skinny hermit self on a granite rock. This softened like wax and received the imprint of his backside. When Pharaoh arrived and saw the marked stone, he recognized God at work, saying, "One can doubt everything except for a Scots rear." When Pharaoh told him of Becnod's report, Fiacre was incensed. He forever banished women from his monastery. After the monastery was built, Saint Fiacre planted a vegetable garden and became known for the quality of the vegetables he grew there. Visitors to Fiacre's garden brought seeds and plants from afar, and his gardens became famous throughout Europe. Most accounts of his life say he used his garden-grown herbs to cure many kinds of ailments. There are many other stories of him performing miracles as well. One story about Saint Fiacre tells of how he was able to cure a man with a cancerous growth on his leg simply by touching the affected area with his staff. Another story tells of how he was able to grow a beautiful and abundant garden in a place that had previously been considered barren and unproductive. Saint Fiacre lived and gardened at the monastery until he died in 670 AD. To celebrate his work, a special feast day is typically held on September 1st to honor this humble gardener. The next time you need to clear and cultivate land for planting fruits, vegetables, or herbs, you may want to call on Saint Fiacre for his blessing. Oh, Saint Fiacre, patron of gardeners and travelers, I seek your intercession for the grace to be a faithful and hard-working steward of the gifts that God has given me. Help me to see the beauty in the world around me and to find joy in the simple tasks of daily life. Give me the strength to overcome any challenges that may come my way, and guide me always on the path of righteousness. I pray that through your intercession, I may one day join you in the kingdom of heaven. Amen. We want to remind you again to take a Patreon subscription. It only costs $2 to start with, or make a one-time donation starting at $5. This will help us continue making these videos.